Well, hello my YouTube friend. Today it's probably gonna be a two-part video. I don't know, we'll see how it evolves because I'm quite overwhelmed. I have a lot of feelings, before starting this video. First of all, the first feeling that comes to my mind, it's a feeling of pride. The pride, sorry, to be the owner of those timeless beauties, excellent pieces coming from what I consider to be the best maker in the world. And I'm not sure that I'm going to be challenged on that one. Maybe you will find people that will say, or I don't know, find another one that they will prefer. But it's commonly a fact admitted that Todd Rexford is, if not the best, among the very best maker. And I would say, when I say among the very best, it would be like, I don't know, in the top three makers, tactical makers, that we know of. So, first of all, this is, to get even one, at some point, getting one knife from him, I consider that to be almost impossible. And I'm honest with you when I say that. I've been chasing his knife not so long, but it was so hard to get that, for once I thought that I couldn't get one Rexford. Then after that I said, okay, maybe I can get, I don't know, a regular epicenter, or I don't know, and I got one epicenter actually. This was the first that I got, and I was lucky because this one is absolutely phenomenal, probably one of the best in my collection here. And I'm such in awe of this knife. It's really incredible, and for me difficult to say how much I love this knife. So that was the first that I got, and immediately I knew that it was not a trend and everything. So Todd deserved all his fame. If he's considered as highly by all those collectors and me now, it has to mean something. It has to, yeah. There's something more than the trend. That's really one of the best makers, if not the best. Sorry about that. Sorry if I'm rambling, and sorry if I'm redundant, but to me, it's exactly what I consider. So, long story short, hopefully short, we'll see about that. I got the epicenter. Then I thought that, probably impossible to get an injection or a hot hammer for that matter. The hot hammer is such difficult to get. He made not that much. And they're so expensive also. So I don't know, I really thought it was impossible for me to get hot hammered. And this came along the road, eventually that's what I found out. As a collector, when you're evolving, the more you invest in time, in expenses, in money, in relation, that's all those parts are the good part. The only thing that is not as good as I want it to be is probably the funds involved. If there were a little less, I may have a bigger collection. But I'm not going to complain. That would be really unwise of me to complain about that. So yeah, the more you get involved in collecting, and you get to finally, eventually meet the right people and do some trades with some knives and everything, and you get to have exactly what you want. If you spend that much time that I have spent on knives, eventually you get the knives that you want. Which leads and will lead to that piece, because the purpose of this video is not only to ramble about knives and everything, but it's to focus on this one, because as I said, it was hard to get a Rexford. Then after that to get a hot hammer and everything. But at the end of the day, I don't know what I said. I mumbled something. I don't know what it was. Sorry. At the end of the day, this is the focus of the video. This knife here that I'm going to present you now. Boo. Is the subject of this video, because I'm gonna put this aside, and this aside. I see you here. Okay, and we are going to focus on this one, because the story is that 2 years ago, or even a little bit more than 2 years ago, I was not even in awe of Rexford, not even considered in awe. I mean, I was not really attracted by Rexford. I was my attachment was on way of other makers, and I didn't consider. I mean, I considered his shape to be quite, I don't know, common or whatever. I don't know what I had in mind at that time, to be perfectly honest with you. But I was not really attracted by Rexford. But I saw a video of now a guy who became my friend, but at that time, to me, it was only Mr. Oromoto, and he was, to me, one of the major YouTuber when it comes to present a knife, custom knife. I adored his collection. I have to give credit to some people now on YouTube. I think it's the right time. There was one guy, to be honest with you, I don't remember his name. I took a lot to watch his video. Man, I'm going to put that in the description below at the end of this video. You know how I am. My Alzheimer is is increasing by the day. So this guy made a really nice video. I don't know, but about production knife. So I took a lot about his videos on a production knife. Then, because of the quality of his video, because of the fact that he was a great orator, I took a lot also on watching Jim Skelton's video. Then, also, as a brilliant collector, it was this Oromoto, David Lohman, my friend Tsu. So at that time, he was his name was Oromoto, and for me, he was one of the major collector. His pieces were insane. I loved the way he presented his videos. I couldn't tell if he was Asian, living, I don't know. You know, to me, the guy was a mystery, and I was absolutely in awe of his pieces. So here I am watching one of these videos about this knife that I have now in hand. This is why it's really overwhelming for me to present you this video. I watched this video and I became totally nuts for his videos, for this knife. It was, I mean, as I said, I didn't like Rexford, but this knife was the first that drove me crazy, just for the knife itself. Forget about the maker, okay? And I watched this video, I don't know, 10 times, I don't know, a lot of time. I mean, it was so, I mean, I grew fond for this knife, for this particular piece, without even loving Rexford. Now, the years go by, I mean, months and years go by, and I just, you know, forget this piece, you know, somehow I forget this piece, and I get to be involved with Rexford, and I get, you know, all the pieces that I've talked about and everything. And one day I see that another collector has that on Instagram. So I say, okay, I didn't even imagine that he would, you know, part with this knife, that Oromoto would part with this knife, but he did. And this collector, usually he's parting with his knife, so I was hoping that at some point I would be able to put my hand on it. And he did actually, but I missed it for a first time. And then the second time was my chance. So over 2 years after drooling on that knife, I ended up being the owner, which is why it took me a lot of time now to start with this video, and that's where I know it's gonna be a two-part video, because this knife now has a special meaning for me. It's, you know, we usually you know, speak about grail or whatever. This has no point. I mean, no meaning whatsoever. A grail is unique. This is a piece. I mean, literally, a grail was unique, and actually, you must not find it at the end of the day. This is the purpose of, but say that we have one grail and we can find it. This is what it should be. We have not grails, plural. It doesn't make any sense. You have one grail. So this is actually my grail. And this is why I'm rambling a lot, not even starting to discuss about that knife after almost 10 minutes of video. But you know what? Maybe it's going to be a part one, only one part video. We'll see about that, because I want you, if I'm not thorough, and I'm sure that, again, I want to give credit to Oromoto today, David Lohman. I'm going to put the description down below. I want you to watch his video, because I'm so impregnated. I don't know if it's even English, but his video is such a part of me now that I'm not sure that my presentation will be any different than his. And you know me, I hate to do retakes. So you know what? Check his video about the knife. The description is absolutely superb. So I'm gonna try to, in 5 minutes or more, I don't know, to describe the knife. But believe me, that might be, I mean, the purpose of this is just to show you the piece that I got now, to tell you about that story that maybe some of you can relate. And now we're gonna say some words about the knife. I'm not sure that I would, I don't know, we'll see about that. We'll see if we're gonna go to the part 2. So here we are with an injection. Oh, you know what? We're gonna get to the part 2 for sure. I want to talk about this knife, not only the history behind, I want to talk about this knife, so that's gonna be a part 2 video. I'm totally crazy, sorry about that. So, what do we have here? The model is the injection. And Tsu, so David Lohman, was lucky enough to get it from Todd, and again, check his video. Do me a favor, check his video. You know what? Watch mine and check his video after. So he got it directly from Todd Rexford. What a lucky man. I don't even understand how he could part, but yes, I understand how you could part with that, because to me, this has a special history. But for him, it was a knife that he was waiting for, but it didn't have as much history as I am. And I know, and I've been known to say that I wouldn't part with a knife, and eventually I parted with it. So of course, anyone can part with any knife, whatever the meaning it has. I might not part with it because of what I said, but others, even if I think when I get a knife that I can part with it, eventually I can, that I cannot part with it, eventually I can. So what do we have? We have a Todd Rexford, and now we're gonna start the description of the knife, and I'm gonna stop rambling now, because it's 12 minutes. And you know what? I think the best is to stop the video right now for the part 1 and to get to the part 2, because I want to keep this part 1 as a kind of tribute to that knife, the message of a collector to his friends on YouTube and Instagram or whatever. I want to keep it that way, to kind of discussion around knives, I would say, and I'll keep it at that. And we gonna describe that knife in a part 2. I think for once I want it to be the less erratic as possible. So end of the part 1, let's go for the part 2.